Once again, it's a pleasure to be here at Life 360. My name is Robbie Omondi. We are doing a series on women leadership. We are talking about the importance and the changes that come along from women taking up leadership roles in the country. Specifically, in the recent episodes, we've spoken about the position of a woman representative. However, we'll be speaking to various leaders, various aspirants. We are heading also into the political season. But apart from that, March is a Women's Day. We will be celebrating Women's Day this month of March, and that is the reason why we decided to bring female leaders, women who are shaping what we look up to, women who are shaping the conversations around politics and ensuring that the two-third gender rule also favors the women, regardless of whether the two-third has been adhered to when it talk about politics and leadership. Today, I am joined by one amazing Moraa John, who is an aspirant for the seat of women representative here in Nairobi. She will be doing us the honors of introducing herself because I do not want to cut short her achievements, her aspirations, and what she aspires to do when she becomes, when and if you decide to give her your votes. Karibu sana Moraa.
Asante.
Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers, tell them who you are, and then we dive into the conversation.
Thank you, Podcast 360. My name is Wakili Moraa John, aspiring woman rep, Nairobi County.
When you talk about leadership and you talk about aspiring, take us through a little bit about who Moraa is and why you decided to vie for this particular seat.
Moraa is a lawyer by profession, but I majorly do farming and businesses. I'm the CEO at Ardel Tours and Travel Agency, which deals with, it's basically a tours company that deals with kahaya, hikes, basically tours. And whatever inspired me to vie for the woman rep seat, it's my love for women and my love for the youth. I feel like the women are the most, we are the most in numbers when it comes to the population. But then again, it's like we are usually used when it comes to politics. It's like the work of women is just to vote and go back home. So I felt like women really need someone to push our agenda as women. That's what inspired me to go for this seat.
And why Nairobi? I will assume, sorry to say, when we hear Moraa, tunakimbia mpaka huko kwa matoke. Why Nairobi?
Because I'm a resident of Nairobi, and whatever Nairobi women go through directly affects me.
All right. Good. So let's talk about this particular seat of woman representative. What does it entail? What position is this? And what are the powers bestowed upon a woman representative?
This position of a woman representative, I think it's like several people that don't really understand what it means by a woman representative. I've seen several people saying it should be scrapped off. I don't know why, but I think it's because they have not felt its importance. But basically, a woman representative is just like an MP. There's no much difference between a woman representative and an MP. The only major difference is that an MP is attached to a constituency, while a woman rep is a county MP. They're attached to counties. Their roles are the same, only that a woman rep does the role of the affirmative, the affirmative role.
Now, when it comes to the affirmative action and the role, there's definitely a budget attached to that political seat.
Yes.
What is this budget? What does it look like? Because you said there are people who feel like that position should not exist because they've not seen the impact. And when you talk about impact, it means there is a dedicated amount of money that is given to this seat to enable the woman representative to be able to carry out their responsibilities. What does it look like? And to you, how would you use that amount to make sure that those challenges that you said, whatever is affecting the woman, is affecting you, and make changes on that?
Yeah, there is an amount, the NGAF, it's about 25 million per year, per county, which to me I feel is very little money. You see, like I said earlier, the population of women is higher compared to men. And it's women that I don't believe in men being the heads of the house. To me, I believe women are the heads of the house. Because you see, it's women who do everything. I don't know what men really do to be called the heads of the house. I don't know if it's because of the, I don't know. I've never
traditionally,
understood.
traditionally, men are the leaders, and
I don't understand what they lead.
Okay.
Because you see, everything always drops down to women.
Okay.
It's the woman who knows how that man we call the head will feed. It's the woman who knows how they'll dress. It's the woman who knows how the kids will wake up, sleep, bathe. I still feel they're the heads of that house. So, being that women are many in number, 24 million per county per year is such a small amount. And that's why mostly people haven't felt like women leaders, or rather women reps, are doing anything. Because you see that amount is very small. And helping the vulnerable, we have, like, for example, so many single mothers when it comes to, let me use an example of Nairobi where I'm buying. We have so many single mothers. These single mothers, they need someone to boost them. Some of them didn't even get to finish their education. They dropped out of school. They are not married, they are single, that is. Maybe their parents are also not doing well off. You see, some people like to be born in families with good backgrounds. Even if they get kids while young, they get the assistance of their parents. But now we talk about these vulnerable ones. There are so many. They need to go back to school, their kids need to be catered for. How should a woman repel such kind of vulnerable people? You see, now with 24 million per year, it's usually 6 million per quarter. A quarter is 3 months. This 6 million, for Nairobi, for example, has 85 wards. I don't know if I can quickly divide.
No problem.
I need to know how much.
We can do the math.
And know how much. When we talk about 6 million per quarter, per 85 wards. So you see, that's basically 70,000.
Yeah.
70,000 per ward. Then this money, when we say quarterly, so you know quarterly is 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
So this 70,000 is supposed to help an entire ward for 6 months. Like 70,000 is supposed to cater for problems of women for 6 months. You see, that's someone's rent. One person.
Yeah. Who is doing very well.
Who's doing very well.
Yeah.
This 70,000 is not enough. Even if you were to give it to, let's say, 1,000 women.
Okay.
How much could you give them? It's almost like 700
shillings.
What can 700 do? I still feel that budget needs to be increased so that these women are catered for. In as much as I know we have the constituents funds, we have the MCA funds, still it's not enough, because majorly those ones, they go to projects like roads, bursaries, education. But now there are these problems that face these young mothers that needs to be addressed by the government.
Okay. Before even we go to additional, even the amount to be lifted a little bit, let's highlight some of the challenges that you've seen within Nairobi County where you're vying that are affecting the women of Nairobi that directly are needed to be solved or handled by the woman representative.
The major problems facing women is poverty. Then we have gender-based violence. We have, let me just call it harshly, prostitution. If you go to the streets, you'll not find men on those roads queuing there for some pleasure. You'll always find women. You see, if
they call it sex workers.
Sex workers. It doesn't need to exist. Because why should someone go through sex to feed their children or to earn a living? You see, if these sex workers, or rather the woman rep, whose duty is to strongly represent women and vulnerable groups, if they can first address the issue of sex workers, I think our women will gain the honor they deserve, that dignity. We need to protect the dignity of women. Another scenario is the issue of gender-based violence. I know most people fear they'll be like, even your neighbor next door, someone might be killing you in your house, but they're like, mimi mambo ya watu wawili siwezi ingilia.
Yeah.
But you see again, this issue, I feel, the issue of gender-based violence, in as much as it doesn't affect the woman alone, we have men who go through violence as well.
Very true.
But you see again, as a woman rep, we need to introduce, like, let me call them seminars, where these women are spoken to directly. And it should not be the women alone. These men, you see, you cannot speak to the victims alone.
Yeah.
While you keep all the perpetrators out.
Yeah.
If these two people are listened to and spoken to, I feel that gender-based violence will reduce. But now you see most cases, it's the victims who are spoken to.
Yeah.
We don't listen to the perpetrators. So you see, as a woman rep, these are issues that affect 90% of women. Yes, men get affected.
Yeah.
They are violated in their homes. But now you see, there's a reason why they were violated. That's where that balance should come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're wakili.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Legally speaking, when you look at the Constitution,
Yeah.
do you feel like it still limits the woman representative despite it being, you know, a role that is, you're being elected, and constitutionally speaking, you have the constitutional rights as a woman representative. Would you say it still limits your role as a woman representative? And what do you think needs to be done about that?
No, according to me, it doesn't limit. Because a woman rep has equal representation roles as an MP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't limit. So it's for our women reps to up their game. Yeah.
It's good you're saying about
Sponsor
upping.
bills. Yeah, sponsor bills, oversight. They should do exactly what the MPs are doing. Yeah.
For you to decide to vie as a woman representative in Nairobi County, is there a gap that you saw, or some slack or lack that you saw from the previous regime, or the person or the lady who is in that position at the moment, for you to feel like you need to be there to make some changes? What are those gaps, what will you do differently?
I can say there's a lot of laxity from the sitting woman rep, and there was a really big gap from the previous woman rep. I feel like this position has not... The mandate of this position has not clearly been spelled or brought out clearly. So that gap is what inspired me, because you see now, like I said, the woman rep role, apart from oversight legislation, it's to strongly represent women and the most vulnerable groups.
Yes.
That one has not been championed at all. Because all our women reps, I must say all, because I've not seen none who has vigorously come out to defend women or to defend the vulnerable. It's on record and it's in public domain, like the sitting woman rep saying, our Gen Zs, our children, is supported when the president said they should be shot at the legs. I expected her as a mother and as a woman rep to be the first person to condemn that, but she never did. And you see now, that's the role that she was elected to do, present women and the youth.
Yeah.
These are the youth whose lives have been put at stake, but you see, she never condemned the same. So I feel like the gap that is there is only one. When it comes to oversight and legislation, I really don't want to say they're not doing much, even though they are not doing, but I don't want to dwell so much on that, because even the MPs themselves are not doing anything. But I am picking on this specific role of representation of the vulnerable groups. That's where they are failing, and that's where the gap is.
Yeah. I know there are a few things that we've seen Esther Passaris doing, including, I've seen her in forums. Personally, I've covered events where persons living with disabilities are there, children living with, non-communicable diseases. I've seen her in some forums. Are there also things that you've seen that she has done that you say, she has done this and I would like to take over from there and even apply more pressure and make sure that the women of Nairobi and the girls and those who are vulnerable are well represented?
Yeah. There are a few things she has done.
Okay.
I believe she has a home in Nairobi that accommodates the GBV victims.
Survivors and victims.
Yeah. But she needs to do some changes to that home. You see, taking someone out of their homes to just go and place them somewhere for some period is not enough. And as much as it heals, it's not enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you do about that?
I said we need to have a talk.
Okay.
We need to hold seminars. These seminars can be held per ward. It's like a sensitization on GBV that will include both the victim and the perpetrator.
All right. I have another question, because now I'm also tapping into the fact that you understand the law better, comparatively speaking. And when we look at this role of a woman representative, the influence that they have, that you would have when you're elected, that particular influence, how would you use it to have a voice? Because we can barely mention many women representatives.
I know.
Not because they're not there, but because we don't hear them. How do you intend to use that influence? It's quite a good influence. We had a guest here who told us these women should not rely on that budget in umesema ya ngaf, 24 million or whatever it is. Don't rely on it. There are other ways and avenues that a woman representative can get funds to make sure that they have more influence, and they do, and solve the challenges that women are facing. What do you feel about that, and how do you intend to achieve that?
That's a very good question. And for sure, like your previous guest said, 24 million is such a low budget that cannot be relied on. Now, you see, like the issue of women, someone can always get grants, someone can always get donors, someone can always sponsor bills. Once you've realized there's a problem somewhere, there's a gap somewhere, you can be able to table it before the House and say, for example, single mothers. I don't think these women are provided for anywhere in the constitution or anywhere. But now someone can sponsor a bill. This bill will be maybe to bring up something that can help these single mothers grow. You see now this one, when you sponsor such kind of a bill, if it passes in the House, then there can be some funding that will be directed towards helping that group of women.
What makes you different? Because we've seen many women leaders and even male leaders, after election, the voice becomes...
It disappears.
It disappears.
They never talk.
What do we do? What will you do different? Because I want to hear about you. I want to hear about your projects. I want to hear about what you're going to do beyond the media. Ukiwa kwa ground, we need to hear that Ruth amefanya ABCD. Moraa amefanya A and B and C. What will you do different so that we don't see you quiet and the flower girl that we hear, political female leaders being called flower girls?
Not actually political female leaders. That flower girl thing always goes to the women reps. Because once they're elected, we have MPs.
Yes.
We have women MPs who work. We have women governors who work. And they're loud and we can hear them. We have several areas, by the way. Like Nakuru County, for example, almost the entire leadership is women.
Women, true.
It's almost women, and they're working. Like, for example, Jen Care of Naivasha. She's been MP for 4 terms. She's working. I believe she's being elected back because she's not silent. She's working. Now, what makes women reps become flower girls? May I believe it's like most of them don't really understand their role. Because they get elected, they go and relax. You see now for an MP, they're always there issuing bursaries, building roads. You can always feel them. But for women reps, once we elect them, until after 5 years, that's when we'll hear about them again. They don't understand their role. That's what I believe. But you see now, for me, I like leadership. I like always being there. I like being heard. I like being seen. So if I were to get elected in that position, I don't have to go supplying sanitary pads.
You don't have to?
To go supplying just sanitary pads once in a while. You see, yes, we women need the sanitary pads in as much as the young girls need those pads. But we need more than just the sanitary pads. I've always been having this thing in my mind of creating employment. I'll lie if I said there is employment in Kenya. There's no employment in Kenya. But we can create self-employment.
Yeah.
For example, if I get a group of youth, let me take an example of Kayole as a ward. No, not the constituency. Kayole as a ward. I cannot help everyone. But I let the MP do some work, the MCA do some work, the governor do some work. And me as a woman rep, I can pick the most needy cases. Let's say even those young boys that since they don't have work, they go around grabbing, stealing from people. If you can get, I know we have a lot of government lands that are lying idle in this Nairobi. I speak to the governor. I tell the governor I need to use this piece of land for maybe a car wash. If I erect a car wash in that place and ask about 5 or 10 boys, I buy them a machine. I tell them, now this is your car wash, run it the way you want. Don't you think at the end of the day, these small boys will go with even 500 to their homes? I have not created employment just for one person. At least 10 people will be able to work in that car wash. Bidii mtu imsaidie. The more the cars you wash, the more the money you get. Another business, now I'm talking about empowering the youth and women. Women are very hardworking people.
Yeah.
As tunachiwa like 100 bob, someone expects you to cook from that 100 bob. They expect you to have supper, breakfast and lunch on that 100 bob. Buy diapers, baby milk.
Yes.
And even your own pads from that 100 bob. But you see, women have this to chamas where they save.
Yeah.
If more capital is injected into the existing women groups, wataenda wajipange wenyewe. You don't have to go and plan them. You just have to give them a starting point. I believe in being taught on how to fish than being given the fish. So if you teach them how to fish, they don't need you to give them fish.
Yeah.
No woman will come telling you, nisaidie 200 ya sukari. Because already you've given her that pond, you've provided the fish. So she'll be able to know how to fish for herself. That's what I believe can bring change amongst women.
Okay.
They be empowered.
Are these things that are actually doable? And for women who haven't done even a single project, how do we hold them accountable? Because at the end of the day, these are people who are supposed to bring a difference in a woman's life. We are very much aware of places, at huko Kisii, for example, or even here in Nairobi, there are women who can't even access a facility, a health facility. As you've said, we might not necessarily have to hand over pads or things like that, but there are actually girls who miss school because they don't have that one sanitary towel, yet they need to be in school. How do we make sure these things are being done versus holding our women representative accountable for the things they have failed to do?
Okay, these things are doable.
Yeah.
I believe they are doable. There's nothing that is difficult once you have the plan and the strategy. You see, why I don't want people to be issuing pads. If you go to universities, you go to hospitals, you'll always get the sure free condoms.
Yeah.
Why should condoms be free and not the pads? Whoever made the condoms free can still make these pads be free. Our women in parliament can sponsor a bill.
We saw Gloria Oroba do something like that. You can also share your opinion about what happened.
I'm not so sure whether she sponsored a bill in regards to the same, but I understand she was doing something on the period campaign.
Yeah.
It was a period campaign, but I'm not sure if she sponsored a bill on free pads.
I believe it was one and the same thing.
She did?
Yeah, it was. She actually did.
Did it even ever become law?
I am not privy to that, but I believe she was fought on the same, and it did bring any fruits. It didn't bear any fruits.
Sure. But now you see, now that's where now our other women leaders fail. Because had they supported that bill, it could have been low. Because why should we be given free condoms when we can get free pads instead? Because pads are more of a basic need than the condoms.
People say you can live without sex, but you cannot avoid having periods.
Yeah, you cannot avoid. So I believe instead of us giving a packet of periods to the school girls, it's not only the school girls that lack, even mothers at home lack.
True.
So if these pads can be made free, like a supply to a constituency, every month supply, then our women will be comfortable, or one of their problems will be sorted.
Yeah. Because we have manufacturers in the country who are doing pads, sanitary towels, and even those who make the reusable ones for sustainability. So is now looking at all this, because we can look at a problem of a woman in Nairobi, they are almost equally the same to any other part of the country.
Woman,
Then do you feel that if these roles are, or rather women representatives come together and say these are the challenges that are facing women in the country and this is what we need to champion for and work towards, is it something that can make a difference?
Yeah, it can make a difference. We've seen women who fought for women. Like Lori Roba, like you said, that girl tried. She has tried fighting for women.
True.
We have women in that parliament and the Senate who are just there to clap for their masters. They forget that they were voted by the Kenyans. Once they get to power, now they go to please someone. That's why you see what wanasema, these are just flower girls. Because we women fail. Once we are elected, like you said, sauti naisha. Sauti haiishi. We forget what we were elected to do. We go there to please the masters. Unapata kama Kisii woman rep, wetu wa Kisii. I don't think she even knows her role. From morning to evening, it's about Ruto. I don't know if she knows her role, honestly. I've never seen her talk about women, apart from collecting old clothes and giving to our women. You see, apart from singing Ruto, or singing a governor or a president's name, senator's name, enda pigania wanawake. Because it's we women who vote. Hata ukienda kwa line, it's women who vote. It's women who mobilize for voters. Uko ground, me I always go to the ground. I don't go meeting men. I go meeting women.
You should tell us what your ground says, because again, we want to know you understand what your people want, the people you expect to vote for you. Basically, even according to the statistics, women and youth are the major voters. What does your ground say? Do you understand what they want from you as a woman representative?
Yeah, I do understand what they want. Because shida zile wanalia, I think it's a shida za kila mwanamke. Them, they're like, as we are old and we are too old to even get employed. Mimi nikipata biashara, nikata mboga yangu, I'll be able to feed my family. All they need is empowerment. Someone who can empower them. They don't need much. Hata ukienda wanakuambia kuja utusikize. Hatutaki pesa yako. We just want you to tell you our problems. You know, sometimes they feel like huyu anakuja ama ni yeye mwokozi wetu. You can feel the pain in their hearts. Because they be like, sisi hata hatutaki pesa, kuja tu tusikize. Mungu akikusaidia upate hii kiti, please do this and this for us. You can feel them. They don't even want money to vote. They just want someone who can empower them once they get to power.
All right. When you talk about now the roles of a woman representative and when they get to parliament and even sitting with the other legislators, is it that your roles disappear kwa hizo roles zingine for the MPs and the other senators and all that, or it's just laxity when it comes to leadership?
It's laxity. Roles can never disappear. The roles are there. They are correctly spelled out in the constitution. Our women know what they are supposed to do. Like I said, an MP of a given constituency is not any different from a woman rep. Because these two are just MPs. Only that one presents a constituency where the other one presents a county. So it's just laxity. You cannot just tell me that when you are campaigning, you are telling them this is the role of a women rep. Suddenly when you are elected, you go and forget the same role that you are telling them, you know what you're going to do. So it's just laxity.
If you had the chance to make any changes in the office of the woman representative, as a wakili and equally as a woman, what would that be? What change would that be?
If I had that chance, I'll still cry for our women. I'll still insist that office should purely represent men and the youth.
Women.
Of course, women and the youth. Of course, that's their role, but in as much as there's these other legislative roles, that office should come out clearly and strongly in representation of the women and the youth. That's where there's a gap.
Yeah.
It has not come out clearly like that's what they need to do. Yeah, that's the gap. That's the role that I could really want to really make it come out clearly.
Now, within your work lifetime, are there leadership roles that you have handled or led that made you feel going into the political scene would make you shine better as a leader, and to be specific, a woman leader?
Yeah, I've been a leader. No, those ones are school. You know, we don't look at school appointments as less positions.
They matter.
They matter a lot.
True.
That's when we even realize kumbe I can lead. Because I've been a prefect throughout, by the way.
Okay.
Right from primary to high school. I tried vying once in campus. I was in KU.
Okay.
Nikaona kivumbi, but
are there some of your competitors
for
when you tunawaona?
leadership? Not really. I don't have some of my competitors. Maybe my schoolmates.
Okay.
Were out loud. Like Moraa was my schoolmate.
Okay.
he liked leadership from the word go.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. Yeah.
How has that shaped who you are as a leader, and what the roles that you're now going into at the moment?
I think it has given me that courage to lead. Even the trials alone, going to the ballot, those school ballots with others, it's courage. It has given me the courage. I also lead my company. Like I said, I'm a leader of my company.
Yeah.
Ardell Tours and Travel. So leadership is in me.
It's in you.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about leadership and we talk about women, we know the challenges that were there in the previous years. When we talk about women, we were not seen as people who should, be into politics as much as the men.
Not we were not seen. We are still not seen.
Really?
Yes.
I would not say that really, because we've seen women step up and lead.
I'll tell you why I say so.
Now, I want to hear your opinion, because now we're seeing more women, boldly vie for political seats and win, and even lead properly. We have very, very, very outstanding women leaders who we look up to. What are the changes that you've seen in the leadership roles when it comes to women and men, and where are we heading to?
So far, there's an improvement, but we have places like my own Kisii. They have still not embraced women leadership.
Okay.
Waluya, they have not embraced women leadership.
Yeah.
I still feel there are places, your culture ijawatoka.
Yeah.
Like Kisii where I come from, let me talk about Kisii specifically.
Yeah.
If that woman rep position, if a man was able to vie for that position, sisi hata usorangekuwa women rep wetu.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Kisiis don't believe in women leadership at all. Hiyo ya women rep wanatupea tu juu.
Ni lazima tu.
In otherwise.
Okay.
In otherwise. Not Kisii alone. Hata hii Nairobi tu. Unasikia tu, tuwezi kuwa na governor kama mwanamke. We are still looked down upon. Yeah. And as much as we keep trying, we are still looked down upon. Martha Karua tried presidency. She was not rejected because her leadership is bad. She was not voted in just because she's a woman.
Wow. Wow.
That girl is a great leader. Everyone knows Mother.
She's a powerful woman.
Mother is a powerful woman.
Yeah.
Mother is that leader. You see, if this country, for example, elected Mother, I'm one of her believers. I believe in her leadership a lot. We have seen her resign.
Yeah.
Because she could not take nonsense. She's a no-nonsense woman.
Yeah.
But we Kenyans, we cannot vote that woman.
if you say that, it's
For
like
being a woman.
you're stamping and saying, but
No, I'm not stamping. I'm wondering.
okay, better.
Yeah, I cannot stamp because I've said I believe in her leadership. In fact, she could even be the best president
Maybe someday.
if given that.
Maybe
if
someday.
given that opportunity, but maybe someday.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so far so good. Women are starting to get a voice in this country as leaders,
Yeah.
and I hope going forward we are going to have so many women. You see, we realize the 2/3 gender rule came in because there were no women. There were no women in leadership at all.
So
it had to be introduced
yeah.
to get the balance. Even the woman reposition, it was basically introduced for that reason, to create that balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why DCP? Why did you choose to vie via DCP?
I believe in the values of DCP. Yeah.
Which are?
I believe in their manifesto. The manifesto, even though these manifestos, at the end of the day, they turn out to be stories.
Including the ones for your party, their stories.
I have to be very honest. They are not stories, but they turn out to be stories. These political parties really come up so well. They promise us heaven. But once we get to that heaven, they don't give us what they promised us.
There's no honey and milk.
There's no honey and milk.
Okay.
I don't know where we leave it along the way, because when we start, we usually see them carrying that honey and milk. So I don't know where it's usually dropped along the way. But the reason why I chose DCP is a very accommodative party when it comes to the youth. It has really impressed the youth. My party leader is on record saying his priority is the youth. And I want to believe he means his words. I vied in 2022, by the way.
Okay.
I was in UDA in 2022, but I realized there was no place for the youth at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you decided it's DCP.
Yeah,
Maybe you can share with us some of the manifestos and the, things that we should look up to when it comes now to the party.
To the party, our party
and
manifesto.
what you align to. Yes.
No, you see, our party at the moment, we haven't created a manifesto, but we have values that we believe in. We believe in the usual, point number one that everyone keeps saying, no extrajudicial killings.
Okay.
But you see, if my party leader can really mean his words, together with other united opposition leaders, we can be able to curb extrajudicial killings. It's not like it's hard. Ama, is it so hard to stop killing someone?
It is not hard because
it's not so hard to stop
that's one
killing
thing
someone.
that Kenyans are saying, we shall never forget.
We shall never forget. When Kenyans,
so,
every time you'll see Kenyans saying we shall never forget June 2024.
Yeah.
Because people were killed by the same government that promised us no more extrajudicial killings.
Okay.
And I want to believe Kenyans are not stupid people. Our party leaders tunawaangalia. Not just DCP alone. DAP Kenya, Yawamalo, we are watching it closely.
Okay.
Kalonzo Swiper, we are watching it closely. Everyone, the values they are trying to tell us they believe in, we are watching them closely. And we shall be there to remind them, this is what you told us.
Wow. We are talking about women in leadership. We are also looking at the International Women's Day, which we are marking by doing these conversations. I would like you to share a message to the women of Nairobi, and generally share a message. And we also want you to tell us something that we should remember if and when you're elected to this particular seat.
Thank you. To the women in leadership, I want to tell you one thing. Soldier on. Wake up, go for that position. We can lead. We are not too minimal. We are not too young to lead. And it's not like this leadership was meant for men alone. We are not lesser human beings. Being women doesn't make us any lesser. The only difference between men and women is the gender. But we can lead in as much as men lead. Be careful out there. Leadership is not easy. Politics is very difficult. And having participated in politics, I can tell the women out there that there's no space for leadership. There's no space for women in leadership. You have to fight for that space. You have to push yourself to be in leadership. To the Nairobi women, I want to promise you one thing. And I don't want to be that promise ile ya kutenga, sitatenga, sitengi uongo. But I want to tell you, if by God's grace I'm elected, I'll keep the promise that I always tell you when I come to your places, that empowerment lazima. I'll push for that empowerment. A very happy International Women's Day to all the women. Ninawapenda.
All right. Thank you very much, Moraa,
Asante.
for joining us. This is Life 360, our conversations around women, and we will be very glad to also see the work that you do, pale kwa ground. Because
Thank
if you have this conversation without understanding what you actually do, tutakuwa tunapiga kelele.
That's
Ndio.
true.
So we'd
If you
like to
follow
invite
my page,
you.
Moraa John, you'll
Yeah.
always see what I do.
Okay. Also invite us, because
Sure.
we want to
Sure,
come and
sure.
show also.
You can come?
Yeah, we will.
I'll definitely invite you.
Thank
one
you
of these
very
fine
much.
days.
We
Like I'm going
appreciate
to the prison to visit women at Langata prisons. I think I'll invite you. Yeah.
You see, that is work that needs to be done, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, those are still women who have rights and they need to be heard.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's
Thank you
a
too.
pleasure to have you.
Pleasure,
And
pleasure.
we'll invite you again and again and again, so
Asante.
that we can see the good work that you do, as we also support in our own way.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Have
And
a
to our
lovely
viewers, thank you very much for tuning into this end. That was Moraa John. She's vying for the seat of Women Representative here in Nairobi. For those who are voters, for those who have had her manifesto, or even her values that you can attest to, feel free to support her. We'll be here to see how far she goes. And definitely when someone is doing a good job in supporting women, that is all we care about, and we will also support. Until next time, we're still doing a series on women in power in different parts of the country. Stay tuned for more, and happy International Women's Day.